Collins on. We had 108 fucking smashing, banging on the live. And Instagram cut me off because of copyright. It don't matter, listen, we're all back in the house. What's happening? We had Middlesbrough, we had Leicester, we had Wolverhampton, we had the Turks, we had East London, we had Swansea, we had Cardiff, we had Essex, we had London. Fucking Instagram cut me off because of copyright of the music. Phil Collins, man. Hey? Sheffield's back in the house. Let's smash it up Christmas. Alright, we're back up. Mansfield are in the house. Big Sean Johnson's in the house. Yes, guys. Plymouth's in the house. Don't forget Devon, Cornwall as well, Southampton. Right, I'm not doing no requests at the minute. I'll do requests in a minute. Newcastle back in the house. Look, here they come. The boys from the Thames, the Mersey and the Tyne. The real men. Fucking Cornwall, Dino, Jay-Z Coast back in. Oh, don't forget the Scousers. Come on, the Red and Blues. Swindon, fucking Cambridge, Liverpool, we're all jumping on. Do you know why we're all here? Because we're all fucking bricklayers, we're all men. Unbelievable. Norfolk, yes. Walsall in the house. Plasterers, good to see all the plasterers and the chippies on as well. Right, let's get down. Right, I had a question sent over from Assailed and Design, okay? He sent it over to me last night, and interesting question. I want to read it out to you. I put it on my story. Some of you have probably already read it, so I'm gonna go through it, okay? If you had your time again, what would you tell the young Dean to do differently, or wouldn't do anything different? Also, any advice for next generation? Saving money, have one woman, cut a gun out, etc. Want to know your point of view, Dean. You seem wise and humble. I don't agree with all your views in life, but in general you're a good role model, and I appreciate your family values, which are lacking in today's society. Are you an Irish background or pure Englishman? Can I say Monday Argyle? Of course I can, geezer. There you go. Seen the weather this week? Have I fucking seen it? Yeah. Well, I'm glad I learnt my trade. I ain't got to be in it. Right, okay, let's crack on. Right, the first question. Would I have told the young Dean anything different? Right, so it got me, this one. It goes a little bit deep because I've had a hard time growing up. You know, I've been through the mill a little bit, which I didn't realise then, but I know now as I've got older, because I thought that's what life was about, okay? Now, as a young bricklayer, what are we? We're fucking enthusiastic, we're resilient, you know, we're full of energy, we're full of testosterone, you know, we want to fucking go. That part when you're coming out of an improver stage, when you're looking at other bricklayers on full money, and you think, I should be on full money, you know, we're eager. You can't help that, that's the men in us, that's the male, okay? But you've got to get back in your lane, okay, and respect it. Right, so what I would say to my young self, now I was fortunate I had some good mentors about, right? But to me, as a young trout, I don't regret this part. To me, was working stressfully, hard, Monday to Friday, right? In them days, you meet the governor would turn up a few heavies with the pay packets and pay you, or you'd meet you down your local strip club or the boozer, right? You go and pick your money up. Now, to me, the weather, suffering the weather, the stresses, the arguments, the worries, the joys, and then on a Friday night, going in my work clothes, straight down the boozer. I'm only going in for one. That one turns into two. Turns into the governor saying, have another couple, young'un, because you're the young one, he's trying to get you fucking on it. All of a sudden, the going out people are coming in, as Flanagan would say, and you're standing there, and now you're fucking and all of a sudden the people are coming in, all going clubbing, you're still in there in your fucking caterpillars, you cut down Levi's and your vest top. No, that part of my life, guys, as a young male, working hard a week in a male environment, I was dominated by legends, older heads, you know, and I was the last point of call. I was the one being bullied, not bullied, but I was the fucking one that had to go on the muck if the Ollie didn't turn up, you know. So I had to let that frustration out. So when I went in my own environment, in the pub, you know, with my own age, I let a little bit of steam out. I was fucking cocksure, you know. And a good night to me was pulling a bird and having a good punch up. Now, I'm not saying that's the way to go forward, but that was then. Times have changed now. Fucking everything's cameraed up, dash cams, you can't get away with nothing. And then it was straight to work on a Saturday, fucking black eye or fat lips, skint, but with loads of stories to tell from the bird you pulled. Sat at the bird, look, it's gonna go off, wait in a cab or get a cab home, I'll see you indoors, you know. And that was, I was wild. I think a lot of us were when we were younger. That's what it was about. We were fucking men, you know. Today it's bred out of you, you know. So if I could go back and see the young Dean then, I would probably say, tone it down a little bit, son. You know, you're going a bit too fucking wild. Slow it down. However, they were the best moments of my life. I had no commitments, no kids, you know, no fucking, what do you do? You're young, free, and all we care about is going out, and that was the thing. Right, now as I progressed, I did make a few mistakes, okay? Now, I went to foreman, supervisor, quite quickly. Now, I went on a price and was subbing. So basically I was getting £400 a 1,000, right? I was paying the trails day work, 85, 90 a day, and creaming off the top of them. Then I thought it was the right thing to do. Now it's not. Yeah, I think anyone doing that, I think is wrong. You know, if you've got a gang on you on a price, they need to go on a split with you, yeah? Because you're being greedy. But then I done what I had to do to get a step up on the ladder. Now, what I've done was, I went from building 2-3 houses to building schools, okay? Now that was a big jump for me, right? Financially and stressfully, I was too young, okay? I could have waited and done a few more plots of 4s and 5s, ticked over, instead of making a big jump. Now, when you make a big jump onto the schools and blocks of flats and stuff like that, comes in counter charges if you're late for the floor going on, you know. Now don't forget, you've got 18 trails, all on average of £500 a week, you know. You're talking fucking 7-8 grand a week wages back then, plus your oddies, plus your improvers. It's a lot of dough to find every week. Now, what I'd done was, I was on 30-day payments, so leading up to that, what I'd done was I didn't go out for about 3 months. I ignored the phone calls from Johnny, Joey down the pub. Yeah, come down the pub. I said, I can't. Oh, I would buy you. I said, I'm not going to stand and let you buy me beers all night. Because they didn't know £100 to me down the pub was a day's money for a bricklayer. And I was on 30-day payments. So back then, you'd invoice on 30 days. It'd take a week to go through the accounts, get signed off. You'd probably get it 7 weeks. So 30-day payments turned into 45-day payments, right? Now, in that meantime, you've got to find wages for the men, right? You've got to make sure they're working. They've got families to feed. They believe in you. So I even pawned a lot of my gold, or borrowed against it, to get the wages to get me started, you know. And then when the first payment come in, I see my bank statement, I was like, fuck you know, I felt like going out and buying the biggest cigar and having a party, but I couldn't, because guess what, the contractor now was talking about other jobs, another school, or I know it was a doctor's at the time, a doctor's surgery, so I needed men to go on there, you know. And I was financially stretched. Now, because you're financially stretched, your anxiety goes through the fucking roof. You have no home life. You're not sleeping of a night. You're cracking the whip every day. You know, you're getting fucking had a go at, moaned at by people. You're falling out with friends. You're falling out with old trails because you don't feel they're pulling their weight. And there's a lot of stresses going on. Now, in the end, one of the jobs I got knocked for about 40 grand because I just fell so far behind the deadlines because I just couldn't afford the wage bill. So the crane come in, the crane at the counter charge because the crane couldn't lift the floors on because we weren't up to floor height, etc. So it was very, very fucking hard, you know. And going back, what I'd done was I retreated. I went back onto residential extensions, went back to a 3-4-on-1 and was happy. But looking back at it now, that's the easy way out, okay? But I was so young and keen, so your enthusiasm wants it. I want to be the big subby, I want to pull up in the big truck, name on the side, I want to give the fucking wages out. But you got to fucking stay in your lane, because too much too soon is not good for your mental health, you know, your anxiety, your fucking stress, you're losing weight, you're trying to train, everything's money I want to take because you're trying to crack it. Now, when I went back the second time, I took on 32 plots, reshaped, regoverned, got the men together, you know. I had a good little army, firm army, you know, good fucking trowels. We had a few youngsters on there, who we all know the youngsters, or there was always ones who want to cut corners or get away early, want to get in the pub, but the older generation fucking didn't let it. They didn't compromise on the quality. Now, what I've done with this, I made sure I kept residential work going, right? Because the odd extension, porch, driveway, garden walls was cash feed, and it helps my money flow out in between the 30-day payments, right? So now I was a bit more experienced with dealing with bigger gangs. I was more experienced with dealing with contracts managers and site agents, you know. I made sure every site instruction I got, I made sure every day work was noted on my duplicate book and signed by the agent for record purpose, so I was covered. So at the end of the job, when we hit, obviously, you know, now you hitting anything day work what's not on a price is negotiated at the end of the job with the contracts manager and the quantity surveyor. So I had all documentation and I was ready, you know, and that's what it's about. It's about being organised, but don't be fucking hard on yourself if you fall flat in the mud on your face, because God will not have a go at you for trying. It may cost you like it cost me a few quid when I got knocked, but you learn from it, okay? And that's what it's about. You learn from these little fucking mistakes. So going back to myself then, I would have said, look, you want to be big, it's gonna happen. You've got the drive, you've got the passion, you've got the persona, it's gonna happen. However, take your time, don't jump in. Guys, I've heard of horrific stories of people losing their fucking houses, breaking up marriages because of the stress levels. Let's put it in example. We all know this person goes and buys a truck on HP, £400 a month straight away, yeah? Goes and buys a couple of work vans, you know? Get yourself an old workhorse. You know, don't show the contracts manager how well you're doing, because they will toss it off your price, okay? Keep with that, keep real, okay? Keep honest and let things build up fucking gradual, because it will happen. It will happen. Hence why you look at a lot of brickwork subbies, successful ones, you don't see many under the age of 30, okay, because they're still learning, okay? A lot you see in their 40s, even 50s. They've been around the block, they know every short and curly, they know every fucking game, right? And that's what you have to do. Now, if I was to go back, I'd say to myself, Dino, listen, it's gonna happen, take your fucking time, you know? Life's hard enough as it is, right? Now, remember this, guys, you're in a gang, you're now on the other side of the fence, you're now the fucking leader, you're now watching tea breaks, you're now watching turn up times, you're now watching finishing times, lunch breaks, right? You're now watching hod carriers, right? Separate yourself. I didn't eat in the same canteen as the men. I went in my truck in it, because as soon as I got pally and emotionally involved, people, it's in them to take the piss. And that taking the piss, 20 bricklayers on £20 an hour, taking 10 minutes each, 20 times 10 minutes is 200 minutes, okay? What's that, 60, 20, that's over 2.5 hours So work it out, that's like 200-300 quid. And that's just on 10 minutes, people taking the piss. So run a tight ship, be very, very efficient. Now, one tip with this, get a good circle, get a good team of men around you, okay? Don't fill it with youngsters and try and take the piss out of them because you want to earn a bit of dough on them. It ain't right, you're going to come a cropper. Get a few older heads in there who, if you do turn your back, they will whip the youngsters, you know, or the piss takers, the ones who want to get away with the pub, the ones who turn up with their laces undone and their trails dirty. You know they don't want to be there, they're just there for fucking money. You need people who want to be there. You need to give enthusiasm, you need to give an incentive. You know, give these people an fucking incentive, right? If you're walking away, right, with fucking £2 profit, don't be fucking greedy. Give a little bit out, because you'll always be someone who, if you're good at that, they'll go the extra mile for you, okay? They will work for you, they will take care, they will worry about it. If you're not there, they'll ring you up and say, Dean, Johnny's taking a piss, or Dean, this corner's out, you know, or whatever. It will help you in the long run, okay? So all you're doing is investing back in yourself, and that is so important, okay? Right, another story where that experience helped me. I was doing some footings for a hospital, and a very massive company, you can imagine it's hospital work, so it's a well-known building contractor. We was working direct, we had a banksman, okay? He couldn't keep up with the muck. I had a fucking 12 and 5 gang on there, right? They couldn't keep up with the muck. So I've gone in, had a little moan up, right? Come out, had another little moan up. Then I've had to go out to fucking banksman, right? Because he looks like he don't want to fucking be there. He looked like one of Lex Luthor's lot, you know? Fucking one of the bad uns. So then I put it in writing, because it's a legal document, and I sent it in to head office. The head office contacted the agent. The agent, fucker, I think he played netball for a living, then turned his back on me, didn't want to help me, was being all bitchy about it, you know? Instead of coming up to me like a man and going, Dane, right, okay, we need to sort this, right? He went the other way. In the end, it couldn't keep up. I warned him about pulling off. I pulled off, okay? Then they sent me a bill. They owed me about 8.5 grand. They sent me a bill, right, for 14.5 grand. The money they owed me, right, and then counter charges, because they brought in another contractor who charged emergency fees to get the job done. So I then went in, sat down at a meeting with the contracts manager, blah, 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 and I went, right, on this date, on that date, on that date, on these weekends, we worked on site. Yes, they checked with their paperwork. Yes, you did. We didn't have no site supervision. We was given the key to open up ourselves. There was no first aid. There was no washing facilities. There was no site supervision. There was no health and safety. I said, what do you want to do? Do you want me to take this further because you're in breach of your contract for my safety and my men's safety? Or do you want to fucking pay me? Fucking heads were wobbling. Like that. All of a sudden, guess what happened? They wrote me the fucking check. Now, I said to them, listen, I'm an hard-working man. All my men have family to feed. And you've tried to have us over here. I know what you've fucking done. I'll never work for you guys again. And you will feel that. Right? And that was... And that's what it was about. Right? You have to be fucking firm. But to be firm, you've got to go through these heartache, guys. Listen, you've got to kiss a few frogs to get your fucking princess, so they say. Well, prince. Alright, boys. So, anyway, right. So, that's the advice I'd go back. Okay? Be stern in what you do and do not take no shit. Alright? However, know your rights. Whenever you moan, gone are the days where you go and have a go at the agent. Right? It's got to, because that agent will cut your throat behind your back. Okay? And you'll be the one losing your ass because you're fucking 20 grand down. Use your unions or get it in writing and it's all documented. Okay? Right. My next one. Saving money. Yes, as I just said, you have to save your fucking money. Guys, money is too hard earned and easy spent. Listen to me very carefully. Clothes do not make the man. The man makes the clothes. You can go out in a fucking jumper from Primark and still do the business. It's about how you are as a fucking person, right? Now, saving money, we all know. You all should be saving money in the good months for the winter. We know that, okay? You have to be cautious with your dough, because if you've got families to feed or men to pay, what happens is, if you're not clever with your money and you can't afford wages, your good men start to leave. You will not hold good men. Good men will leave and walk into another job the next day. It's worth investing in those good men. So that £2 profit you've took, oh fucking hell darling, there you go, there's £2. Go buy yourself a new fucking outfit. Buy Jenny one while you're there. Put a deposit down on a new fucking kitchen. That will come. But not now. You fucking wait. And that's what I'm teaching my boys. One of my boys in particular has had a lot of money go through his hands, and he's learnt the hard way, okay? And I've stepped back. Now, this money, you are self-employed. You know how it works. If it rains, you don't get paid. If it's cold, you don't get paid. If you go on holiday, you don't get paid, right? So a £2 holiday, in effect, will cost you £4. So be cautious with your money. Don't be tight, but be clever. Okay, and that's what it's about. Everything you fucking do, guys, right? Now, with your money, don't listen to all these investment things. Be clever. Invest in yourself, okay? No one or nothing will make more money than you, okay? Be clever in what you do. If you're in property developing, be wise in what you invest in, okay? The best thing for me was investing in my gang, okay? Was my truck that got me to work, and my gang, I looked after them. Because I learned from that. Where I didn't invest in them, my good trails left, and I was left with okay trails, but they wasn't good enough, okay? So the standard of my work then dropped, okay? And I knew what I had to get. Now, this motto goes back years. If you've got fucking Winston Churchill getting the commandos ready, they done different training in the normal army. The army were doing star jumps, keeping fit. The commandos were training at open waters, right? They had a job to do. They were special forces. So we're the fucking same, okay? Don't get mixed up in all this shit. Right. What I'm going to say to you next. I had a shitter can, right? A shitter can was when I worked, you know when you're working, you're on concrete, it's on jack walls, your fucking hands are cut, you're bleeding, the rain's not enough to get rained off, it's spitting, right? You're working the footings, you're pumping the water out, it's fucking mud everywhere, right? Put that money away in a shitter can. Open a separate account, call it a shitter can. Explain to your wife and the missus what that shitter can is, right? Put that money in there and you watch that money build. Now, when that money's building, guys, you know how hard you've earned that money, you won't want to spend it until you get the right opportunity. You're fucking doing well. You've got a gang of 15 men, 18 men, right? You're on a plot of 30. You've been offered another plot of 20 and you've been offered a school. You've got money there to reinvest in yourself, because that £5 you've got, what you've saved, is going to pay wages for another 2 bricklayers, right? And that's going to give you a head start. So that £5 will eventually turn into fucking 20 grand. Okay? Now, my next thing, stay away from the fucking monkeys. The ones who come in charred out their heads. The ones who come in fucking pissed up, want to get down the pub during the week. I feel sorry for them, because they've got things going. Listen, you won't find life or goodness in an empty glass, at the bottom of an empty glass, or on a fucking white line. I've never touched the stuff, it's the devil stuff, right? I've seen many good people go wrong, right? Moderation. Have a beer. Have a beer. Not having a beer is not the answer. Have a beer, socialise, be a fucking man. You deserve it. But do not go down that road, and stay away from those, because those ain't got a pot to fucking piss in. I watch a lot of this YouTube stuff, right? And I'm telling you truthful now. Comment now if I'm wrong, right? Watch a lot of the fucking videos. A lot of them look like they're working out of a fucking studio flat or a bed set, right? A lot of them look like they give out the fucking big issue for a living, right? I'm out of the trailer. Of course I'm out of the trailer. I'm doing a self-build. you see what I'm saying? So be careful who you listen to, your role models, okay? Now, my next point, right? Would you have one woman? Guys, the honest answer is if that woman is your fucking wingman, if she is your backbone, then you look after that girl, because she is your fucking strength. That woman understands why you come in tired. That woman knows why you have dinner and you have a shower and you go to fucking bed because you're fucked. That woman knows the problems you're having with money. That woman's worth her weight in gold, because you would never achieve anything without that woman. Okay? Now, I've had women who have not been that person, and I've tried to make them that person. You can take the horse to water, but you can't make it drink the water. Now, my visions was different than her visions. Okay? Now, I totally understand that you're not in control of her life. She has her own life. But when you collide together, you become one. What's the marriage vows? Through good or worse, okay? Through tough times and bad times, okay? That's what it's about. Now, in the world we live in today with women, they're very fucking with social media. Oh, Jeanette's doing this, Jeanette's doing this. Work together, because you are together with your kids, and you as a man are trying to do better for the woman and your family. And that's what you're trying to do. So, like, trying to encourage her to help you with the paperwork. Teach her, okay? Teach her to help to do paperwork. Pay her. Give her a payroll. Give her a job so she can work around the kids and help you. And then find that skill of keeping it separate. Now, in the old days, divorce rate was low because we were a fucking team. If there was arguments, you went in the other room and you had a fucking sort out. You didn't fucking jump in a bed with the next tart, or she didn't fuck off with the next geezer a side partying and a BMW, right? You stayed together for the kids, you worked it through, right? And that's my honest opinion. Now, the woman I broke with, it wasn't her fault. She just didn't love me. She wasn't that way inclined. She was happy going to work in Asda and stacking fucking shelves, earning £10 an hour, right? Well, I was like, fucking hell, like, I'll pay you £10 an hour if you do this. But I now know it wasn't her, okay? And I met someone in between that who was that person, who did help, you know? And the best thing about it, right, is it works, okay? So now, guys, remember this. Remember fucking this, because I was told this, right? If you're going out tonight or next Friday night and you're fucking got your old Ben Sherman on, your Farrahs on, and you're going out, right, and your Pradas, you never know, because you could be meeting the woman of your dreams. So fucking interview wisely. Interview wisely. Let two become one, okay? Now, the opposite side of that, one of my pals, Bricklayers, Mrs. got a very successful job in London. She's on an absolute fortune. Common sense comes in. You know, run it yourself, employ people because she's doing her thing, you know. But a lot of women have kids, they want to stay at home with their kids, and you can provide that with your enthusiasm, okay? And that's what that's about, right? So, when I said, when you're going out and you're fucking, you all right, darling? You all right? Kiss, kiss. And all that. Choose wisely. Don't waste your years. Okay? Now, my next point of this is cut the going out, etc. In other words, he's saying, no, go out and reward yourself. Right? Reward yourself. Because if you don't reward yourself, what's it all fucking for? You're not put on this earth to work every day and put yourself into the ground. You're put on this earth to earn as much for your family and provide a better life for you and your close ones, not for your fucking best mate, not for Jimmy down the road. Okay, yeah, you see them all right because he's one of your brothers, but you get out of bed in the morning, right, to work, be efficient, to love what you do, and to fucking achieve, right? How many is out there, guys, on a Sunday night tonight are dreading going to work tomorrow because you want a shit job? Fucking, I've been there, brother. Right? Work that. Work it. You're a fucking bricklayer. And at these times now, you can go put your chow and do anything you want. You walk into another fucking job, okay? Do not sit on a Sunday night a bit down because you got work tomorrow. You should be getting up in the morning fucking smiling with that old capital gold on, singing the ones and twos on the way to work, okay? So, moderation's the big word, okay? Moderation. Drinking, going out, moderation. If you take the piss, you're gonna come a cropper, right? Okay. What's the next bit? Right. Good role model. I appreciate the family values. Yes, 100%. We live in a society today, guys, where the man has been taken out of the men, okay? That starts in school. Like this, I'm doing a lot of research at this minute because of my book I'm writing. Late 90s, you come fifth in a fucking race, you get a rosette. If you come first and celebrate, you're frowned upon. You're showing off because you won. Dane, can you not celebrate because little Jimmy's crying over there because he didn't win? Fuck little Jimmy. Tell little Jimmy to train as hard as I'm training, right? Or sit back and respect me as a winner, okay? And that's what we need, right? So them values put into your son and daughter to work hard. Now, I've always said this, guys, right? Be honest. Show your family you're honest. Work hard, right? Love what you do. When you love what you do, you produce good work. When you produce good work, you take pride. When you take pride, money follows. And that's the recipe. How can it be so fucking hard? The recipe's not, oh, just turn up because mate's paying me £200, I'm going to do as less as fucking possible because I'm out tonight. Right? I'm out tonight. I couldn't give a fuck about Dean. He can fucking, he's got the money to pay me. Or this one, look at him, flash fucker. Turn up with his money, fucking doing all this, doing it self-build. What a flash fucking get. Listen, a bricklayer working as good or as harder than you will never moan at you. Someone who's not working as hard as you will always moan at you. Okay? So youngsters, get that. Right, advice for youngsters coming up. Right, gonna get to Google that, look at some fucking tools on my iPad. Right, let's have a look. I'm gonna Google resilience. I'm gonna Google toughness. I'm gonna Google energy, efficiency, coordination, leadership, strength. Nope, guess what? You can't fucking buy them. Before you buy a level and a trowel, I'll teach you this. If you've got none of what I've just said, I'm going to help you save your time. Go be a chippy. Sorry, chippies. Right? Go. Okay? Because you need to be resilient. You need to get out of bed when it's fucking raining and still go to work because it may stop. You need to work through the cold and shit. You need to put up with people moaning. You need to put up with inconsistency in materials. You need to put up with people knocking your work. As the great Winston Churchill said, any fool can see what's wrong, but can that fool see what's right? You'll always get that one fool knocking your work, but they can't see the fucking goodness in it. They don't know that the bricks you're using are soaking wet. You're always fucking not covering them up. You've got to use them, right? So, those points there, you've got to be able to coordinate. You've got to be efficient in what you do, your movements, your loading out, your setting out, your resilience, your energy. You've got to be so enthusiastic. You've got to lead others, guys, right? You've got to be that person. And that's leadership. Now, leadership, okay, is not a role. Leadership is an action. Natural leaders lead by example, by good work, turning up on time, okay? Turning up on time, doing the work, going the extra mile, being honest, okay? And that's my point there. So that's my advice for the youngsters. Get those mental factors in and your development will excel, okay? Time and time again I see bricklayers turn up, oh, I'm sponsored by Scruffwear, Tubeware, Bombwear, whatever clothing make, or Pretty Tools, or I'm Instagram fucking famous, right? You say to the boy, what you fucking doing, lad? Oh, what height for the soldiers go on this, on the banding course? Son, we're on plot 10. You've been on here since plot 1, and you still don't know. Ever heard of the saying, all the gear, no idea? Fucking learn, okay? And be accepting to aggressive, constructive criticism. Because that foreman is in charge of many men. He's in charge of setting out. If something's in the wrong place, if something's at the wrong height, something's out of plumb, he's the point of call. So you can imagine these stresses when someone keeps repeatedly getting it wrong, okay? So don't go by the nickname of twice, where you'd have to be told twice what to do. Absorb and concentrate on what you're doing, okay? Good. Right, my next point was a bit about myself. Are you an Irish or pure English background? I don't know many pure English people. A lot of us come from, especially where I come from, East London. Okay, let me tell you a little story. I'm the man I am today because of my ancestors, right? We was the first part of England to be bombed, September the 7th, 1940. The Germans sent a fucking massive air raid over. That's meant to bomb Tilbury Docks. They hit Canning Town, okay? It was a catastrophe, it was terrible. The next day, same again, okay? In fact, a lot of East Londoners thought the war was against them because we was the ones who got regularly bombed more than anywhere in the fucking country. Now, the reason for that was, one, because we had a mass Jewish community, and two, obviously the docks. They was trying to cut out all food supplies, etc., export, import, blah, blah. So I come from a very stern background, okay? In East London, if you don't work hard, you ain't gonna get out of there, okay? Your objective was, you was taught to work hard, beg, borrow or steal, do what you can to get out of there and make a better life for yourself. Now, that's been passed down to me, and I've passed it on to my sons, okay? I'm a bit intense when I work, but hey, I'm not doing so bad, you know, touch the wood without sounding like a prick. Now, I come from an Irish background as well. My dad's side, settled down travellers, goes back, I've got a little bit of traveller in me, okay, which is evident sometimes of the way when I used to fight a lot when I was younger, and that, the way I was brought up there to fight. That's how it was where I was from, you know. You could be randomly starting there was a hell of a lot of fighting, and I look back and I think, oh bloody hell, but you know what, touch the wood, I'm still here. But obviously times have changed now, it's not like that. I believe the community style has fucking gone. Now, I'm going to give you a brief bit of history, okay? I'm not Labour or Conservative, but I'm going to go into this. When Labour took over the government, okay, after World War II, and Sir Winston Churchill got taken over, the rebuild started to happen around London. Now, the Labour wanted a new world generation. Now, the only way they could do this was to get rid of the community. The only way they could get rid of the community was to build high-rise tower blocks. And without us knowing, we all thought, oh, this is lovely, we're getting there. But once you're in a flat, they took away the community. Many families, it wasn't odd for a dad to live and his mum, sister to live next door, you know, and his wife's mum to live across the road. It was kids playing in the street, etc. And that community spirit got us through the World War, okay? So that was taken away. So a lot of that now is gone, hence why a lot of people have moved out of London, etc, etc. So anyway, that's a brief little history about myself and about who I am. Now guys, I've hoped I've helped and come across a few things. A lot, listen, out of this information, if you take 30%, you've took fucking something, okay? If you think I'm talking shit 90%, guess what? You've still took 10%. So you've took something. So look on the positive side of things, right? Listen, we're not here to feed our egos. We're here to feed our pockets. Always remember that, okay? So when push comes to shove, what do you want to do? Feed your ego or feed your pockets? You know, if it means taking that little bit of work down because you want to get it right, get it right. Don't go home losing sleep, okay? Good, excellent. Now guys, listen, thanks for tuning in. Fucking over 200 geezers on here, right? A little brief. I'm writing my book. You can imagine what my fucking book's like. Honestly, guys, I've read over the first chapter, and it is what we fucking need, right? I'm putting it back. I'm letting these people know who are on these 2-year apprenticeships, 3 years, what you should be, what you should know, how you should be, okay? I want the quality in a tradesman to go back, okay? That bricklayer walks in the room with a stern build, a face that's weathered, a handshake gripped because he goes 8 courses on the conkers one-handed, a hand that feels like an old London stock, 1,000 stories to tell, okay? That man who can get in that conversation, who rolls his A's and N's because his accent is slang, but he's still intelligent enough to keep up with the conversation, okay? I want to put that back into the worth. I want to make these youngsters understand who they are. I want to get this trade back to where it was, okay? And that's what we're about. And this book, guys, I'm not self-promoting. It is going to be fucking unbelievable. I've wrote passionately about me, my feelings, why I feel like this, what I've seen working with people, my newfound friends on Instagram, how I've had to take to social media, the following, etc. Okay, so guys, listen, fucking much love, everyone tuning in, okay? Now, whether you're a YouTuber, Instagrammer, right, keep doing what you're doing, because you are an influencer. And do you know what an influencer means? You're influencing other people to become bricklayers, right? So you're doing good for this trade, one way or another, okay? And that's what I'm gonna say. Now, another quick question, right? I'm gonna get a tattoo done of a bricklayer. You're gonna get a tattoo done of a bricklayer, right? Because you love what you do and you're proud, right? That trade has fucking built your family a good life. Now you've got 2 pictures, you're undecisive what to do. There's a picture of a bricklayer on a corner building, lovely fucking brickwork, standing there stern, old school. And there's another picture, 2 profiles up, diags on, and a bricklayer working to the profile. What a tattoo are you gonna fucking choose? Stick to it, men. Let's fucking price these fucking prices. Don't be laying 1,000 bricks a day. Let these people pay us more money to lay more bricks, because we're the ones who are going to fill it in years to come. Stick together, guys. Listen, God bless everyone. Fucking have a good week. You know, it's rain, who cares? We get on with it. Much love.